Artificial intelligence is today transforming lives and definitely having a great impact on our future. Today we're discussing the role of artificial intelligence, how it is transforming lives and how it is actually making an impact in the classroom and also across the media landscape. Join us in this special discussion here and important panel on Exclusive.
The introduction of artificial intelligence, which I'm going to refer to as AI, of journalism education is welcomed with the next reaction of concerns, fears, and excellent number of questions. While some are inspired about the potential of AI innovate the journalism education, some are left with worries and concerns about the potential risk it poses to the journalism and communication education programs, and to the journalism professional, as well as the media industry in general. So this is a big, huge shift that we're going to are witnessing right now. And there are programs in the world that my colleagues are going to speak about it. Already introduced the change, and this change is still coupled with fears and concerns. Artificial intelligence is all about training machines and algorithms to learn and develop like humans. Thus, any program or machine that possesses this capability would be considered to be an AI, making it one of humanity's top priorities for us to not only survive, but also advance alongside our technical counterparts.
It's a very wonderful panel that I would say it matches the in-depth panels that we have witnessed in Europe and the United States. So the panelists did a very good job, and it was well-rounded from different perspectives, discussing the role of artificial intelligence, AI, in the media in general, and in media education in particular. And of course, media and journalism education is something that we have to worry about, because these are the people who are receiving traditional education, and they are not really aware that AI is going to change the game. So this panel was an eye-opener for the kind of perspectives and standards that we should think about, and the kind of research we should implement together feedbacks, as well as talking about the prospects and the concerns with regard of implementing AI in media education. I think what's beyond, because with the international perspective of this panel, is to bring calibers from outside, from Europe particularly, and the United States. Dr. Tariq Al-Abbadi, who was CTO for before moving to Saudi Arabia, attracting him to introduce AI. He was actually the AI guy in Microsoft. He's joining the trend that a lot of people going to Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states because they're attracting skilled people with knowledge. Dr. Ahmed Gudai is a professor, well-known journalism professor in Sweden. He's now in the United Arab Emirates also as a scholar doing research. And he came to Egypt just for this panel. Ahmed Asmat was, he's president of Alexandria Forum and went to England to have his master's in digital journalism. And he came also from Alexandria just to attend and participate in the panel. So the collective ideas and content from all the panelists been doing good for the audience because people have different backgrounds and they are looking at things differently. So it was good to answer some of the questions and do my presentation on journalism education. It was good for Tariq Abbadi to look at it from an industrial point of view. It was good for Ahmed Gudai to give us an overview of what's happening in AI in many of the schools of journalism in Europe and in the Arab world. And then it was the time for Ahmed Asmat to talk about the digital transformation and what is AI has to do, in addition to talk about virtual reality and augmented reality.
The outstanding skills of these intelligent devices, such as the capacity to continuously supply knowledge from a variety of sources, have been employed by faculty, trainers, and educators around the world to boost students' performance. So the students' performance that we understand right now, this is going to be tripled or maybe more in the next 3 to 5 years. If we implement AI in educational programs, then the gap in educational resource in journalism and mass communication programs using conventional approaches like books, reports, lecture materials, significantly are going to be reduced. So depending on books, those who are depending on books, we like books a lot. We like to do diminishing. Artificial intelligence is going to push for replacement of materials that the students can use, and therefore books, lecture materials are going to be reduced.
This wealth of information, you won't find it anywhere. That's why I promised the audience who glued to their chairs for 2.5 hours, and it was a steamy room, with all air conditioning. But I thought that people will leave after an hour and a half or 2 hours. But they wanted to raise questions. They are very interested, and the media present was excellent. And even the question been raised was in my view, was excellent questions. That's why I promised them it's going to be a series of lectures on AI and journalism, and this is the first one. And I hope we'll be in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we do another one. So we're still in the process of raising awareness about the importance of the matter, because it's a game change. It's a transition from a period of time of traditional journalism education programs that we have to leap forward and look into the programs that are implemented in Europe and try to catch up with them so that our graduates are going to match the graduates from outside. We will have some laggers, of course, but time has come to think about it seriously and implement it before it's too late. What we are thinking about is to launch an AI journalism diploma. But this is a lot of studying, a lot of work, and it's going to be tailored for the mid-career journalists. But I'm still, doing the marketing research, and we see the financial support and stuff like this. That's why there was one question about, what will happen in the field of medicine or the field of engineering. So I asked Taghreed not to get us, let the engineers talk about AI and their programs, and let the medical doctors talk about, what's going to happen in their profession. But, let us focus on what's happening in the news business and what's happening with journalism education. So the focus is going to result in really bringing maybe a directive by the end that we can send it to the Ministry for Higher Education, to the Supreme Council of Universities, Sector of Media and Communication, to the Minister for Education. And they can do something about it, because I can do what I can do within my limits. But if the state is aware of what's going to happen next, they have to provide support through, of course, a directive by a ministry that is supported by the state, and they have budget from the Ministry of Finance. Of course, there are some drawbacks, there are some concerns, but we cannot really address the concerns and drawbacks and stop progressing. I mean, this is going to push us back. We are trying to take advantage, because what's going to happen when you talk about prospects, talking about improvement of content, talking about alignment of, some wonderful cadres that work in the industry. You're talking about innovation. At best, you're talking about magnifying your soft power. You're talking about your influence in neo-culture impact. You're talking about so many other things. We're talking about the divide, the rich information poor In a country with 110 million people, 60% of it are youth. This is when we talked last time. I said that's why we ranked at 32, because people are thinking. If you read the news well in the past 2 or 3 days, you will see that for example, is tripling the number of planes that they have, and also there is a request from India to Europe to buy worth of I think $50 billion worth of. So one would think, what is this has to do with AI? AI is going to make a lot of people like me the work. I should really take advantage of my time. What to do with time? I will travel, of course. So traveling and reducing cost of traveling, this is what's happening in the world. So the business of tourism, and those who are really looking for opportunities in the next 5 years and beyond, tourism is going to boost again.
Artificial intelligence has already been in our lives, whether we know it or not. Like from your mobiles, the idea of AI is there, even if we're not noticing it. In terms of, okay, they're looking at our patterns, like with social media, looking at our patterns, what we're seeing, what we're not seeing. It learns about our lives, it's learned about our habits, what content do we like, what content we don't like, so that it suggests, let me put it this way, suggests content for us, okay, and suggests services for us, okay. So this has been the sort of like a key for media, like, okay, here is a technology that media can benefit from. Like, we will not give this opportunity for tech companies, but media organizations, they need to be part of this world as well. So they had been investing a lot of money, billions, in terms of understanding audience habits, audience content, what they would like, what format of news they would like to see. Whether they would like to see the news in terms of picture, caption, headline, news content, video, audio, and simply learn about what an individual, so I'm not talking here about like target audience, but like looking at the simple individual, what content they would like, and then send the information to them. Let me talk about some of the cons. When it comes to the pros, there are several pros in terms of sources, in terms of content, in terms of platforms, what platform you would like, message, what message you would like to read, when, customization, pushing information, pulling information, all of these are pros. But when it comes to the cons, and this is sort of like some of the dangers, the idea of the filter bubble. Like, okay, here is the news, and this is the news that you would like it, and from these sources, and you're locked. So there is no search for information. We're pushing the information to you. You are not sort of like searching for the information. We're pushing the information to you. And this creates a problem, because then who decides what news you should see, what news you should follow? Well, I believe that, so like this is my personal belief, that the profession is not going to be affected. It is that AI will take some of the tasks for journalists. So this would free time for journalists to do other things. It is not that it will replace journalists, or even in that sense.
Helpers.
Yes, sort of like they are helpers in that sense. Like you can do the work for you. Like instead for journalists to go and search for a database, the database is there. Instead, for example, of searching the internet, or not the internet, but searching databases, for example, about news and about events or about quotes, no. AI will help you to give you sort of like this groundwork. So it gives you the time in order to take the information, analyze it, and reflect upon it. It's the same as, if you think about it, when radio sort of like came as a technology over journalism, many thought that journalism would die. Or when television started, or afterwards when cable television or satellite television came, several thought like, okay, the idea of news will disappear and the idea of newspapers will disappear. It will not disappear. It is that new format will be introduced, new genres of journalism will be introduced. And that is the same when it comes to artificial intelligence. In terms of being prepared, we are working into preparing a new generation. So a new generation of journalists, they need not only to learn about the core process of journalism or how to do the groundwork of journalism or the legwork of journalism, but also to learn about using algorithms. And this is the role of artificial intelligence, so that they can create databases, they can do data mining, they can handle big data, they can handle other forms of databases in that sense, in order to do a better job. That is sort of like what we are working in terms of preparing a new generation of journalists.
That was our exclusive coverage to this important panel discussion, which is actually tackling more about the role of artificial intelligence, AI, how it affects the classroom today, and also the media landscape, the future of artificial intelligence that has an impact today on the future of our lives, definitely transforming lives. Very trendy discussion for tonight. Thanks for watching, and join us once again on Exclusive.